And hello, welcome to another episode of Fair Criticism. Today I'll make this a very short one because I just want to share some of my thoughts of what I'm experiencing now as we enter a period that nears us ever so closer to this thing called Brexit. Now, the United Kingdom is being led by a man I consider to be quite able to deliver the thing that he said he would deliver. Come for whatever reason, the hour of 11 o'clock was selected on the 31st of January as the moment. 11 p.m. in the evening, that's 2300 hours. I do believe that is the evening time. I was told 11 o'clock. I have not researched whether or not that is indeed during the morning period, just before lunch, or the period just before midnight. So I'm going to assume that is the night time. And there's a desire for many people in England, for the British, to there's a percentage who want to hear Big Ben bong is what they say. I would rather use the word tool or ring, but so Big Ben bong on the 31st of this with 30 days have September, April, June. Excuse me. Please excuse me. So, as we approach this period, I'm reminded. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and a thought popped into my mind, and my thought was this: not so much a thought, but a memory of when I was a much younger man, when I was certainly more filled with vitality and vigor. I was virile. Right, virile, not viral, virile. So there was a project I was working on in the land of my birth, that being Bermuda, and I recall at the time that there was a group of very beautiful, a flock of beautiful birds, of beautiful women, were at the particular premises where I was working. Those premises being owned by the Hollywood actor Mr. Michael Douglas, who has a home in Bermuda, as his mother is a Bermudian. Right, so I knew for a fact that these beautiful women were there to do a catalog shoot for what's the name of the organization? Victoria's Secret. A lovely publication, if you like those things, and I do love those things. A lovely publication. And I knew for a fact as well that there would be a particular model who had a keen interest in, who had entered the acting world, who had started to make a pretty big splash. She had exploded on the scene and was at the top of the highest part of the stratosphere. She was in the stratosphere in terms of the modeling world and beyond. And her name happened to be Tyra Banks. Now, I don't know how many of you remember the lovely Tyra Banks. As I recall, this was what year would this have been? I might have been my mid-20s. I might have been 28, 29, something like that. So just past my mid-20s. And I recall I had hatched a plan that when I got to meet this short 5'7" Bermudian man, would meet the supermodel Tyra Banks, I had a plan to introduce her to the man of her life. That would be me, obviously. That was the plan. That was the plan. And I knew in advance of my meeting what I would say, how she would respond, how she would just be smitten in an instant by my very presence. It was a wonderful plan. I thought it up. It was a beautiful plan. Believe you me. Believe you me. Um, so let me tell you what happened. I didn't get to marry Tyra Banks. I wasn't able to sweep her off of her feet. But this is what happened. So I recall going in that morning. It was a very bright, I believe it was springtime. It wasn't too hot. I parked the car up and I began to make my way down the steps that guided me to the front office at the resort. And as I began my descent from the top of the hill, I noticed somebody ascending or beginning her ascent towards me. And it was perfectly set up. It was none but her, my the woman that I was determined to acquire as my own, to have and to hold, for richer, for poorer, through sickness, through health. So I felt a little lightheaded and giddy and excited about my plan, my well-practiced plan. My execution would be flawless. What else could it be? I was built for this moment. I was designed to descend each one of these stepping stones that drew me near her and nearer to her. She drew nearer and nearer to myself, to my own wanting body and mind. I was within 20 feet. My chest broadened, my chin further in the air. I'm heightening myself to make myself, and it coming in at a perfect angle from 20 feet away. I'm still taller than her. Remember, I'm going down the hill and she's coming up. And as it stands, as we negotiated our way up that hill, two bodies sharing a single path while going different directions. I said to Tyra, yeah, that's what I said. I said, that's what I said to my beloved, to my wanted, to the most precious creature that I could ever imagine at the time. That's what I did. She kept walking. Everything I had imagined, everything that I had fashioned in my very own mind about how wonderful our meeting would be, our first greet, where she might take my hand and shake it. I failed. I failed spectacularly, miserably, wonderfully, in the very worst way, in the best way imaginable. So, why do I say this? Me descending, her ascending, the lovely Tyra, the charming Robert, meeting on a path, but not realizing that we were meant to be. So, Obviously, Tyra, I'm sorry I let you down. I failed you. And this is the purpose of this video. This is the purpose of this posting. Actually, it's not. The purpose of this video is about my man Boris. Boris has begun Britain's wonderful stride down a path to independence. Not to doom, I'm not going to make that analogy. Not to a gloomy future, that would be silly thinking. Somewhere on the path, there's a beautiful maiden that's waiting for us. That maiden, to me, looks like, smells like, has a heavenly hue. She's delightful in every way. Her smile will make us melt. Her tears will cause us the greatest grief. This thing that I speak of, this next beautiful creature that I want not just for myself and not just for the sake of it, but this thing I describe, I call independence. When Britain has finally crossed that threshold, that jumped that broom, traded the rings and given a kiss, that will be a very marvelous thing, a marvelous day. So I stand with all my fellow Brexiteers. I don't like that word, so I should stop. I will stand with my fellow British of all hues, all persuasions, all thinkings and thoughts, men and women who want a certain freedom, who can make great demands, greater demands on the government, on those who say they govern us. That's where I want to be. So, my silly story aside, this is a call for the British people to be excited about what lay ahead. The future is indeed a bright one. I'm not a naysayer, at least not in this instance. I'm simply a man who knows that our Prime Minister needs our support. Our Prime Minister should be given every opportunity to succeed. He will not be the sort of man at this stage to say to the EU. He will not say to Michelle. No. He will stand as erect as he can, because I know he has that little, well, Boris, you could stand to lose a few pounds. But he's a little round right now, and I'm not trying to insult him. I'm just trying to keep it a little light. But I'm in your corner. You are accountable. You are accountable to me and the millions and millions of those who voted for you, in support of you, in defense of you. But you also stand for those who opposed you, who said that you were not the Prime Minister. These individuals who no more than fly-by night party supporters, those who are no more than fair weather friends. I say you pay them no mind. You continue with the work that must be done. You get this job done. Anyway, my good friends, I want to thank you for listening to me. Again, I apologize for my very weak and insipid story about me and the beautiful Tyra Banks. And once again, Tyra, I'm so sorry. I know I let you down. I let myself down. Hit the subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. Give me a thumbs down, obviously, if you didn't. Hey, I'll see you later. Check me. You be good, people. You take care of yourselves. Behave yourselves.